afternoon, YouTube. This is N720 Sierra, and continuation from yesterday's work, where we put in the riv nuts into parts 13 and 14, and also into 8 and 9, and epoxied them in last night. And today we are riveting these pieces together. We just got through riveting 10, 11, and 5 together over here. And I have a friend helping me. He's a pilot, but never built anything. So I met him at the EAA meeting, and he was interested in seeing how the planes that he flies are actually built. So introduce yourself to YouTube.
Hello YouTube, I'm Adjo. I'm currently working on the CFI, and I'm here to learn some stuff about EAA and building an experimental aircraft, and it's been fun so far, and I'm enjoying the process.
All right, so we are getting ready to rivet in these 13 on each side here, and they go through 3 plates of 2 of the doubler plates underneath. And so what we found is that on a couple of these, the rivets don't fit in, so we're having to go in and deburr just a tiny bit. Rather than using a drill, we go in and deburr just enough to set the rivets in there, and once they're in there, then we can go drive the rivets. And you'll see us doing that in just a minute here. We're doing part 7, let's see. This is part 7, 8, 9, and 12, and 13. These are with the 998 rivets, and then we've got some 995 rivets to put in here. And then we'll have this section riveted, as Evan is talking about on his video, which you can, let me see if you can see it in the background. Let me look. Nope, you can't see it in the background, but we have it up, so we're watching it. Trying to make sure that we get all this correct in here. So we just got a couple of rivets to place here, make sure that they fit, and then we'll start riveting them all down. But these rivets at the end here that he's deburring right now are going through 2 doubling plates and the number 7 spine here.
Steve, I want you to check this out just to make sure I'm doing my work correct. I can't really put the deburring tool all the way through.
Okay.
But I began spinning it and deburring, but.
Okay, so if we can't get those in correctly, let's just go ahead and do these, and then we can get the drill out at 3.2 and drill those last ones. So it's funny because almost all the ones on this side fit down in there perfectly. The ones on this side, about half of them fit down in there perfectly. So we know it's lined up. It's just the holes are a little small, that's all. It's not unusual to have to pop these a few. All right, so I think we've got pressure. So let's see. So you saw shooting a couple of rivets in here, top and towards the bottom. I'm not going to bore you with riveting all of these while the compressor's running. And we're going to go ahead and unclico these two and see if we can get those in, and see what we've got to do with these three. I think we just may have to drill them a tiny bit, but they are through three pieces. Let's see what happens if I can do this. Yeah, I'm having trouble getting through all three. So I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's lined up correctly, because everything else lines up on this perfectly. So we've got all these other pieces clicoed down in here. So, all right, I'm going to turn off the camera for a minute and finish this, and then we'll turn it back on shortly. Okay, YouTube, this is N720 Sierra, and we were showing you earlier about riveting all these plates in, these stiffening plates, doubling plates, I guess is what they call them, but they are all riveted in now, and then we took the entire framework and put it together, lightly clicoed in, and then we stuck the rivets in the way that the pages here on this do show. So be careful, because some of these rivets go in differently than what you think they do. We got fooled by that almost. So we went ahead and put the whole thing together, and now we're going to rivet the skeleton of the vertical stabilizer completely together. It's very light, okay, and I left the bolts in down here that Evan talks about. We can take them out at any time, but for now I just left them in. We mounted the VOR antenna to the plate number 1 and the plate number 9 up underneath it. So that's completely in. We had to cut away a little bit of the areas. Of the rib here for these antenna wings to go in, but it is mounted in. We have not put the Loctite on it and bolted it down, but it is in place. We'll do that once we get all this riveted in. Then we'll put the Loctite on here and put this in permanently. I do have the antenna wire over here that bolts onto this, and we'll go down here, down through that one, and through that one, and they'll be 30 feet wrapped up down there. So this is what it looks like. This is the skeleton. The skin is right over here, but I will not put that on today. I have to have my EAA technical rep come over and approve it before we put the skin on. So each step that I do, he wants to look at it and approve it, which is fine with me. So anyway, I just wanted you to see what it looked like. I'm going to go ahead and drive a couple of rivets now, and then we will stop the video. We'll finish the riveting, and I'll start the video again with the whole thing riveted. So these are number 995 rivets. They are, let's see, these are the 4 by 10 millimeter domed aluminum domed rivets, and part numbers here, but that's not important. So anyway, just to show you, it's all ready to get the framed up. So we're going to frame up a couple of these things now. Those ones are already in. Okay, yeah, here we go. so you don't need to see me rivet. You can rivet on your own, but you get the idea. We're going to go ahead and rivet up this whole thing, and then I'll turn the video back on in a minute. All right, so this is November 720 Sierra on Sunday afternoon, and as you say, we put the frame together, and then off camera we went ahead and riveted the entire frame structure. Okay, so it's very light, but it's very strong. We ran the wire up the grommets for the light, and I run the wire for the VOR antenna. Now there's 30 feet of VOR antenna wound up at this end, because it goes up in through the aircraft up into the avionics section. So I don't have it stapled on, or not stapled. I don't have it bolted on there yet. We have not done that yet. We've got to use the Loctite and all that sort of stuff. I haven't done that part yet. It's not that important. But at the very, very end of these instructions, where you think you're at the very end, there it says, hey, put in these 2 riv nuts at these on this bottom spar here at the number 2 and number 5 position. So I had not done that previously. So we're going to do it here on camera. I'm going to do one side and not the other. So if you'll hold that.
Sure.
And I will drill. Now this is a 6mm drill. Okay. All right. So those are drilled out. Now we can install the riv nuts in here. And I'll only do one side, and I won't bore you with the other side. But the 6mm is perfect to put these in. What I'm going to do is I need to mix up a little epoxy, and I do have to take this off and put on the piece that drives the riv nuts. So let me stop the camera, and we'll turn it back on when we've got this section set with a little bit of epoxy here. Okay. So this is the part I did last night and didn't show you, but I didn't realize we had 4 more to put in. So I'm going to show you today what I didn't show you last night. So got to pull this off. Now this stuff dries really quickly, and you don't need much of it. So literally, I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. It doesn't need much. But you got to mix this stuff up, and it sets relatively quickly in about 10 minutes. So you only got about 10-20 minutes to do this once you've got it on here. Okay, so that's set. Okay, so using the riv nut gun, go check that and see if you can see that. If you would, please.
Yes, sir.
Just look through there and see everything.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, so you screw the riv nut on, okay, and then you come back with it until it just touches. Now you got to put some of this on real quick. Okay, that's too much, but it's all right. We'll wipe it off. Okay. Then you put this down into here and squeeze. Okay, there it popped. Now you back up, and then you unscrew this here until it comes all the way out. And you now have a riv nut set. Okay, so before we lose this, I'm going to do this real quickly 4 more times, or 3 more times. And you put that all the way extended, and you put the next riv nut in. And you do get a little of this on your fingers, and it's kind of nasty. Okay. You don't need much, but you do need some. All right. Okay. All right. Now, and while I'm setting this up, if you'll flip this over for me,
Yes, sir.
so we can do the other two, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay. And extend that all the way out. I thought I had. I'm trying to wipe off a little of this epoxy off the part here. I do have some lacquer thinner sitting right there, which I will clean this with as soon as we finish this section. Use two more. But you see me work the gun now, whereas last night we hadn't done that. And you don't need much here, and we will put some on the back side in them shortly. Okay. All right. Okay. Run that out to max. Put on your next riv nut. All the way up. Bring it back. Put a little goop on it. All right. All right, and there you have installing the riv nuts. Now, what I will say is I'm going to clean this up now. Those are set. We're going to wipe off the excess on the top, take a little of this epoxy and put it up underneath around there, but not so that it obscures the hole where the bolts go through. So hopefully you understand that now. At least you've seen it once.